the first half an hour, I'll be giving you what are the basics. So there are some keywords, right, which they ask. What does the author mean? What does author inference from? Are you aware of those particular? Have you ever gone through this? We've gone through every particular summary, inference, message, what he wants to say, everything sounds the same. In English dictionary, you see, basically it means the same. But according to your UPSC, it is different. And here we have to understand little bit of English especially. So we'll just quickly start off with your thing. So for those of you, sir, how do you know if you know English comprehension? How did you do? So as far as I think most of you know the journey which I had told you last time when I met you. So I think I told you, right, the fourth attempt. So English and CSAT was something which I never prepared from. And in the fourth attempt, I was telling all the people it's going to be a game changer, except me. I was not studying because I was overconfident about the this part of the exam. And it happened such that in my CSAT, out of 28 questions, 9 were correct, 9 were wrong, and 10 questions were disputed. So no one, usually when you do the prelims answer key, people will be confused whether this is the answer or that is the answer. So most of the institutes will be, what do you call, they'll be confused with respect to the answer key. So that time 10 questions were disputed and I had to get one correct out among them, and not even one I got correct. So that attempt I didn't clear the CSAT because of English by 0.4 marks. So that is the time I had to do something about it. So there is no source for this, there is no way for it, there is no YouTube video for it. Something I had to do, right? English. And if you see three parts of your CSAT, there is your aptitude, there is your reasoning, there is your English comprehension. For those of you, how many of you do not know, a little bit, you have not seen the paper? How many of you have not seen the paper? That you tell me honestly. Okay, so कैसे लिखते हैं? So what are the three parts of your English comprehension? I mean for your CSAT, one is your aptitude, second is your reasoning, and third one obviously is your English. So out of 80 questions, I hope you are aware in your paper 2, there are 80 questions, and every correct answer you get plus 2.5, and every negative how much you'll get? Minus 0.83 marks. And the qualifying marks for your CSAT is how much? 666. So it's very easy. Why don't you get 66.666 marks? It's as simple, just a qualifying paper. So roughly around 25-30 questions, even if you get 28 questions exactly, if you do correct, then you're clearing the exam. But the thing is, so every year, so you have to understand the history behind why your CSAT or basically came. So Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, when he was the president, used to see, so before how the exam was before 2013, it was just GS, completely GS, no CSAT, no English comprehension, no compulsory English and all. So many of the times what used to happen is these aspirants who become officers, they were not well versed with English, right? They were not well versed with English, and many of them used to become diplomats. So with the president of India, when they are going, they're not even able to make a note of a single page. And being an officer, if you cannot make a single page notes, obviously it's not acceptable, right? So that time he had recommended the UPSC that English should be a major test. So that is why from 2013 you have a essay paper, you have a compulsory English paper, and obviously in your prelims also you have your English comprehension. So from your 2013 till 2018, it was a very simple English, very simple maths, very simple reasoning. Even there used to be a time when engineers and all, 1 hour we used to solve and sleep off the next 1 hour because it was dead easy and people used to score 150, 160, 170 and all out of 200. It was very much easy. So that was an era when CSAT was very simple. Then came the second phase, between 2019 to 2000, majorly or 2021, where here reasoning became tough. You understanding? Reasoning became very much tough, and it was difficult without having a good IQ or without having a good common sense to solve those particular questions, right? Aptitude and reasoning. Then came that question, that era of 2022 paper, where the entire CSAT game changed. So that year itself, roughly around 12 lakh people who gave the prelims, only 98,000 people cleared CSAT Forget about the GS part. I'm not even talking about the GS part. So only 98,000 people cleared in 2022 with respect to your CSAT. And here they started asking aptitude and reasoning questions from your IA. You understand CAT papers? CAT is the entrance exam for your IIM, Indian Institute of Management, and IIT level. So it is not like, okay, are we weak in maths, are we weak in English compared to those people? See, the entire year they do only maths, they do only reasoning. People who do banking exams, they do only these things. But in UPSC, along with your GS, which is 24 subjects, along with 6 subjects of prelims, current affairs, contemporary affairs, along with your optional, developing your personality for your interview, you have to get the skill set for your main set. Doing all this is just one of the part of it. So obviously when we also put the same amount of time, then you can do it. But the reason is we do so many things, so the dedication for your doing your CSAT is very, very less, right? So eventually 98,000 people cleared that particular exam and they wrote the mains. So then the era of your CSAT ka difficulty started. In 2023 ka CSAT paper, it became even more tough, where only 75,000 people cleared paper 2. So the competition for prelims was only 75,000, out of which you had to be 15,000, one among 15,000, 1 in 5. The remaining whatever 15 lakh people were straight away thrown out. And in this year, when 2022 had come, right? So 2022, even the seasoned people means 4 attempts, 5 attempts, 6 attempts, even 3 times mains, 3 times interviews, all the seasoned people who understand the exam, who have knowledge, who have skill set, who have a good personality, all these people were not able to qualify the CSAT paper. And even in 2023, people were not able to qualify CSAT. Before and all, if you see, in this era, it was, like classes and all were there, right? CSAT was for just for a namesake. People were never used to be serious about it. Prelims and GS and GS for prelims and your mains ka subjects optional, that was even more focused. CSAT was just for done for the sake of doing that time. But since 2022, that shocker came when people stopped qualifying for that. So that is the time when more focus came. If you see over there, 6 months ka class will be there for English, your aptitude, reasoning. I'll tell you one thing you have to remember. अभी मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि गुड थिंग्स, अगर तुम्हें मैम हैज टोल्ड मी दैट सर यू हेल्प माय स्टूडेंट्स टू क्लियर द एग्जाम, व्हेन आई हैव टू टेल, when you have to clear the exam, few raw things, few true things I have to tell you. So there is no source for your CSAT. There is no this book you have to read, that book you have to read. There is no formulas, there is no syllabus, nothing is mentioned in your syllabus. UPSC, if you take the notification, there is nothing remaining. You do 100 chapters in your CSAT preparation, aptitude or reasoning preparation, still there is no guarantee when you will be able to touch 10 questions, because there is no source. There is no source. When this happens and the difficulty level is of your CAT level, so then it becomes a nightmare for the people, especially you come from humanities and commerce background, or let us say pure science background. Mathematics is the biggest nightmare. Yes or no? And forget about these people, even engineers or NIT, IIT people also, the questions which have been asked with respect to aptitude is very, very difficult. So I think you are aware of these banking exams, SSC, CGL and all. So before your 2021, UPSC was easier. Okay, UPSC was easier compared to them, and that was core. That was core in your banking and SSC, CGL. But now it has happened such that even banking and SSC, CGL people, they themselves are not able to, do your these papers. So now aptitude is there, reasoning is there, English is there. Now if such is the case where there is no source, there is no syllabus, what shall we do? How to clear the exam, sir? Only by luck. How will you clear? You cannot clear by luck, because something you have to mark. No, something you have to mark on the paper. So one thing you have to understand over here is aptitude difficulty is increased, reasoning difficulty is increased, but English has remained constant. In 2013, it was difficult for all the people. In 2023, still difficult for the people. In 2013, English was easy for people. In 2023, English is easy for people, those of who understands English. It's as simple as that. Nothing, there is no what you call difficulty which has been changed. It's just that what used to happen before 2021. People used to solve only aptitude and only reasoning. They never used to touch English, because in English, accuracy, out of 30 questions, people used to attempt 2, 3 only they used to get correct. Because tum jo English bolte ho, whatever English you speak, and UPSC English is standard English. So usually you cannot match it. So most of the engineers touch only aptitude and reasoning. They never used to touch English. Then there are humanities and arts background, especially arts background people, who used to do only English part. You have to just get 28 correct, right? So only used to do English part and never used to touch aptitude reasoning, because they are very weak maths. Now, see the situation, where if you go only for your English, it's very, until unless you don't know how to do it, it's very difficult for you. And similarly, you cannot depend on aptitude and reasoning. All the engineers out there who are tell that अरे सब mathematics is easy for us, obviously अब तो बहुत मुश्किल हो गया है. So you have to come through the era, come to the aura of your English over there, where you have to understand how to do your English. So that's why if you're able to master your English, you'll be definitely able to what you call clear the CSAT. So this time whenever 2022, 2023 and including 2024, you have seen 2024 paper also, people who did English more, got accuracy more in English, they eventually cleared the CSAT exam. Are you understanding? So you have to take the hold of your English. How you are going to take the hold? Obviously, I'll show you, what are the 6 type of the comprehension passages, how do you develop it, in different keywords are there, what is the meaning of it. I'll give you all those particular notes and all. And also remember, I'll also teach you how to solve a CSAT. See, knowledge is different, clearing the exam is different. There is a way of doing the paper. CSAT paper when you have, there is a way of doing it. So what I would suggest you, it is not a hard fast rule. It is not a hard fast rule. But this rule, this particular method has worked for more people. Now among you, maybe 70% of the people it will work, 30% it may not work. There's no guarantee that 100% it is going to work. So when you have 80 questions now, first thing what you have to do is, you have 2 hours, right? 2 hours mein 10 minutes chhod do for attendance, all those things and all. So forget of 20 minutes. So you have roughly around 100 to 120 10 minutes. So what your focus should be, English 28 to 30 comprehension it will be. 28 will be there, sometimes 30 also will come. So your focus is in next 45 minutes. 45 minutes, which is roughly around 1 minute 40 seconds per passage. If you're able to do your English comprehension, you have how much more time? 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 10 minutes remaining, 70 minutes remaining. In these 70 minutes, always try to target your reasoning, because here you need common sense, you need logic, you need analytics. That's it. You don't need any formulas and all, right? So here, even if you're able to, here, let us say 30 questions were there, and here in reasoning, another 45 minutes you spend. So 45 minutes you spend, and let us say you solved around 15 questions. 15 questions you have solved. So how much time is remaining? 45 plus 45, 1 hour 90, 1 hour 30 minutes. So another 30 minutes, whatever time you have. So this can go even 20 questions. It's not like something which is a hard fast rule. So basically, sometimes what happens is 30 questions, 25 questions, 25 questions will be the total number of questions. So out of 25, even if you touch 15 to 20, let me take it a lower value only, 15 questions, and out of your aptitude, which is difficult part, let us say out of 25 questions, you get, let us say 5 to 10 questions, let us say 5 questions, or you attempted. So how many questions you attempted? Totally 50 questions you attempted. 50 questions attempting in CSAT is a very good number right now. People don't even touch 35 questions. People don't even touch 30 questions. I have seen many people who are not able to complete the paper because answer ही नहीं आएगा ना. How will you get? See, in maths, if you don't get the answer, you cannot get the option. You cannot choose the option. So when you have solved everything, you're not getting your what do you call solution. What will happen? You will not have that much courage to choose any random options, right? It's very obviously. So let us say out of these 50 questions, out of 30, even if these, by this method, if you practice it, you have a above 90% accuracy rate. So let us say even if not 90, 75% accuracy. What is 75% accuracy of 30 questions means? How many questions will be correct? Roughly around 22 questions will be correct in your English. And here in your reasoning, out of 15 questions, 10 questions became correct, and out of 5, let us say 3 questions became correct. So 25, 35 questions correct. 35 into 2.5, do fast. 70, 88, roughly around 88 marks. And how many wrong you got? You got 8 over here. You got around, let us say 5, 8 plus 5, 13, 13 plus 2, 15, 15 wrong. So 15, 2.5 by 3, 5, how much? 10, 12.5. So 12.5, even if you eliminate, roughly around 76, 75.5 marks. That is for sure you're clearing the exam. 60 is the cutoff, right? 75 marks, aram se clear. See, gone are the days when you used to get 120, 130. It's not possible right now. 100 is possible. Obviously, if you have a good IQ, you are good with mathematics, and you touch upon these aspects, is there. See, the goal is not to top CSAT. The goal is to just pass it. You should not be like, I want 150, 140. Don't go in that particular race. You just have to qualify it, because obviously you're putting less time also, and obviously you're not supposed to worry about that much. 66 point अगर तुम्हें एक मार्क्स ज़्यादा भी मिलेगा, you are clearing the exam. But obviously you should make sure you are attempting number of questions. 50 is the ideal number. 50 is the ideal number. In the last 3 years, before and all, there used to be time I used to attempt 72, 75 questions and all in CSAT. But now even attempting 55 questions is a big task. Provided you have practiced everything, you're very fast. 55 questions is like a achievement if you do. Whatever I have seen the people attempting the last 2-3 years, hardly they touch upon 35 to 40 questions. 40 questions is like a very great thing. Only the experts, they touch upon 50 questions and all. So your aim is to get the highest accuracy in English, because time lagta hai. So right now I am giving you 45 minutes as a target. In the starting when you do, maybe you will take 1 hour. You might take 1 hour, but don't spend more than 1 hour for English. Remember that. You should not spend more than 2 minutes per comprehension. अभी जब तुम comprehension start करोगे, you will take 5 minutes to do one comprehension. I'm considering the lower value. 5 minutes. It can go to 10 minutes also. But in the exam hall, you have to do it in 2 minutes maximum. Actual time is 1.5 minutes. Are you understanding? Actual time is 1.5 minutes, but maximum you have to do it in how many minutes? 2 minutes. You should understand, and don't have a ego issue in your CSAT paper. Within 2 minutes, if you're not able to solve the comprehension, it's better you move on. In 2 minutes, if you're not able to get an aptitude or a reasoning question, it's better to move on. Don't stick around, with a single question, 5 questions and all. And remember, aptitude, reasoning, इसमें कोई भी chapter से तुम जितना भी practice कर लो, in the exam hall, every year the syllabus will change, the questions which they are asking is going to change. So I will personally tell you, concentrate on this part and reasoning, because aptitude में उतना scope नहीं है. The chapters are like never ending. If you open, R.S. Sharma or R.D. Sharma, there are more than 72 chapters over there. अगर सब chapters को तुम perfect करना चाहते हो, and if you put in so much time, then your GS will be left out, which is your merit wala paper. Are you understanding? 72 chapters, even if you spend, let us say, 5 to 6 hours, you count the number of days required. समझ में आ रहा है तुम्हें? It will take a lot of time. People who have been in IIT, JEE and all, you understand. R.S. Sharma, R.D. Sharma में इतने सारे examples है. And mathematics, I hope you have cleared the 10th standard exam. You know how mathematics works. Every day you have to practice, right? अब तुम सोचो, if you're putting so much time over there or putting time over here. Again, this method is I have solved, when I took off all the papers, I was like irritated. क्या हो रहा है यार? I think I told you my journey, right? So I took from 2013 to 2022 ka paper. I just kept it like this, banged on this, and I started reading English comprehension, not knowing what to do. I've already solved all those comprehensions, but not knowing what to do. I just started reading. Let me see something I would find. So remember, if at all you have to find a solution or anything, you have to start spending time on it. So suppose if you want to develop your mains answer writing a practice, obviously you have to see hundreds of your toppers copies. Then you will get a eureka moment. Acha, ye karna tha. You'll only get that. Similarly, if you want to understand your validation about, let us say some committee recommendation, you have to read hell amount of committees. Then only it's acha ye likhna hai. Only then you'll realize. So similarly here also, I sat with it, start reading it, and I was like, okay, fine, ye answer hai. I checked UPSC ka official answer ki ye answer hai, ye answer hai. By the end of 2015, from 2013, 14, 15, I was like, अरे ये तो pattern बन रहा है. Everything has a pattern. Then I started applying this pattern in 2016, in 2017, in 2018. And when I started doing it, I stopped UPSC answer official key. I started solving by myself, and I found that it is 100% accuracy can be maintained. इसीलिए उस year, I think I got 105 in the overall CSAT, and obviously English में I got 100% accuracy. Whichever students have thought, whichever friends have got, they have got above 90% accuracy. Just because I teach you, you're not going to get 90% accuracy. After learning it, you have to practice it again and again. You have to practice it in your mock papers. You have to practice in your PYQs. Until unless you do it, obviously this hold of the skill of doing it will not be developed. So when now what 3 months is remaining, 90 days or 95 days remaining. So up say you have to start applying in your UPSC comprehension. Are you understanding what I'm telling? Are you understanding? So you have to practice. Just because you learn, even if you see the recording later, kuch help nahi hoga until unless you solve. That is why in the class also, every particular type, maybe 3 or 4 questions I will solve on the board. After that, every comprehension you have to solve. You have to solve, then I will solve, then we'll see how were you thinking, then how was I thinking. Are you understanding? What you tell in Telugu? Are you understanding? అర్థమైందా? అర్థమైందా? So let us start with your all the people who raise the hands. Basics. अब basics clear है, क्या करना है? समझ में आया? You understand Hindi? Did you understand whoever raised the hand? अरे sir नहीं पता था. How, what are the basics? How the paper will be? So yeah, when you're solving the paper, I will just continue off that. When you're starting your paper, 45 minutes you do English, then immediately you move to your reasoning. See that particular question. Within 10 seconds, if you at all you have practice, within 10 seconds looking at that question, you know before you have you solved any question like that. If before you have not solved any question like that, it's better you skip that question. Because starting any new type of question when you do, it will take time. You might solve it maybe after 10 minutes, but see यार 10 मिनट में 5 क्वेश्चन हो सकते हैं. So don't take it to your ego and all. Just within 10 seconds, if you think that हाँ ये नहीं होने वाला, immediately skip it. Then move to the next reasoning question. Next reasoning question. Only if you have solved it before in your mock papers or in your PVAC में तो usually repeat नहीं होता, but if you have seen in your mock papers, you know how to solve. Only then enter the arena. It's about your simple, common sense you have to use here. You should not take it anything to heart and take it to ego. अरे करना ही है, ये सब मत करो. ये सब कर चुके हैं हम लोग और अटेम्प्ट्स गया है, ठीक है. डोंट डू ऑल दो शिट. इट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड ऑल्सो, इट्स नॉट इवन recommended also. So immediately you move to your reasoning. After touching upon all the 25 questions of reasoning, okay, maybe some 10 questions, 15 questions you're able to attend, 10 questions I didn't know, then move to your aptitude wala. Then immediately you have to change the question. It's not like from word number 1 to the last question you read everything. Oh, like this is there. Oh, I don't know this only. Why did you read? You wasted time in reading the entire question. Why did you waste? You know, it is not your cup of tea. Immediately skip it. Immediately skip that particular question. Are you understanding? Now on the exam hall, if at all reasoning becomes tough for you, and in case you are able to attempt out of 25 only 10, now you don't have a choice. You have to attempt another 10 in aptitude. अब कैसे करोगे? You have to use your common sense. That arena I will not touch upon. So sometimes what happens is, looking at the options, you can guess the answer even if you don't read the question. Trust me, हो सकता है. I told you, right? I've cleared SSC CGL, IBPS PO, IBPS SO, IBPS clerk, SBI PO, SBO SO, SBI clerk, ESIC UDC, ESICC LDC. For myself, I've cleared those particular exam as a scribe for visually impaired people. The other 12 exams. तो मैंने ये सब एग्जाम्स में लॉजिक यही कहता है, लुकिंग एट द ऑप्शंस यू कैन जज. अभी तुम्हें लगेगा ये क्या बोल रहा है सर, क्या पागल है क्या, कैसे हो सकता है? यू माइट थिंक, बट देयर इज अ लॉजिक. I will not touch upon it right now in the RC wala section. Maybe next week also you have to see my face. Unfortunately, I have to see your face, right? So उस time पे when we are doing the GS wala prelims wala part, maybe if we get time, if we get let us say 1 hour or 1.5 hour, that time you have to remind me. If you don't remind me, I cannot help it. I'll forget off. You know how good I'm good at memory. People know na. Until unless you tell, I'll forget. So towards the end, remind me just by looking at the options. It will see. What happens is, at the end, choosing that particular is a luck-based thing, right? But you have to lose a little bit common sense. Out of 5 questions you attempted like that, even if you get 2 correct, so do the mathematics. 2 were correct, so 2 into 2.5 is 5 marks, and 3 were wrong. So 3 into 2.5 by 3 minus 2.5. Overall, without doing anything, within 1 minute you got 2.5 marks extra. And trust me, even getting 1 mark, इसका वैल्यू है. मैंने एक अटेम्प्ट 0.8 से खोया है. In one attempt I lost by 0.4. Every mark has a value. So 2.5 is a very big value. And I know people, this year IFS CSC Forest Service 7th rank Kavya, she, in her particular 4th attempt, she had got exactly in CSAT 66.66. Exact number. Even if 0.001 she was losing, no, it's gone for her. She got exactly the same marks. I have seen people getting 65.8, 65, 66.0, not clearing the exam. नहीं होगा clear. 67 people have cleared. People have cleared with 0.5 marks. Because एक question अगर गलत हुआ, suppose in your question, one question you did a mistake, 2.5 तो गया, उसके साथ 0.83 भी गया ना, negative वाला. So total how many marks? 3.33 marks you lost altogether. So एक question के साथ 3.33 जाता है. So are you understanding what is happening? It depends, all depends on the exam day how difficult the paper is coming. Right now, English has not come difficult. Okay, I don't think so. It is going to come difficult because even with this simple or normal English, I'll not use simple English. Even with this English, many of them are not clearing. Okay, if that also they make it difficult, no, then hardly what 15,000 people exactly people will clear the exam. They'll only write the mains. GS ka cutoff will come out to 50. Obviously, that will not they will not do. English is something which is common for all the degrees, so they'll make sure that it is easy only. Like how it is easy, it is easy. Trust me, it is your easy, but it's just that you don't understand the standard English. That's why it is difficult for you, and there's a pattern recognition. So immediately we'll quickly start with this. So some of the basics. How many of you find difficulty in English? Raise your hand quickly. And when I tell English, spoken, written, every English, every type of English. You cannot speak well without writing, obviously, yaar. Our Ganesh. What is your name? What is your name? Prabhas. Prabhas. So Prabhas is fine. Madhav like, "Arey, remove my chappal now." So anyway, then we have to work. You both? Okay. To now how do I change the? कैसे करते हैं? Tilda. How do I change to next page? So some of the steps which I have formulated over here. So obviously you can read your editorials. एडिटोरियल्स का पर्पस है नहीं कि थोड़ा ब्रेन वॉश हो जाओ, वो सब के लिए नहीं है. एडिटोरियल्स पर्पस, सोल पर्पस इज टू लर्न इंग्लिश फ्रॉम इट. You will need the opinions of your editorials only during interview. I think I have told you about this already in the previous class. So अभी अगर तुम्हारा English weak है, so you take the editorials, opinion pages, read slowly, take 20 minutes, but understand it. The major purpose why CSAT में English comprehension is there, they want you to understand any big paragraph, any big file is there. When you become an officer, they will have multiple files, right? When you become a diplomat, multiple papers will come. You should be able to understand what is the meaning of it, and you have to tell it to the ministers or tell it to the politicians what is the meaning of it. So you should be very, you should be able to grasp it very well. That is why it is kept in the examination. There is no subject in the exam which is kept just for the sake of keeping. Everything has a reason, and English ka reason is this. So second is obviously speak English. More and more you speak, the more you learn in your English. I think I told you last time you can join that spoken English class also, right? Your what is that? Archemat. You can join over there. Start speaking more among your friends also. It is better you start speaking in English. At the end, you have to clear the exam, right? And for that, what is required? You have to do everything with your parents, with your friends, with your boyfriends, with your girlfriends, everyone. How come all of you are wearing pink? Today only wearing pink. What, Ganesh? Specifically you chose, I know you. That is red. That's called pink. Cherry pink it is. In what, Monica? So anyway, so next is read English novels, self-help books, non-academics books. You people morely involved in academic books, which are all your notes. Your Lakshmikant is the notes, political notes of your Lakshmikant IAS. Spectrum is the notes of your Rajiv Iyer IPS. I hope you are aware of this. They're all notes. So notes are written in a very simple language. It's not written in a standard English. So you have to read those books which are standard English is used. For that, multiple books are there. What I will suggest you, I think I already told you to read some of the self-help books for you. Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is good. Hero of Darkness by Shashi Tharoor is good. You can read your 48 Laws of Power. These are the books where standard English is used, because in English literature we need standard English. So when you are publishing a particular book as a novel or a self-help book, they will not accept the American or the English. They will not accept until unless it's not grammatically correct, or the vocabulary is good, or for that matter the English is standard, right? So obviously you read those particular books, then try to solve 2 English comprehensions daily. So now 90 days is there. Even if you solve 180 comprehensions. 180 comprehensions may, I think this is the old age saying, the more you practice, the better you are prepared, right? So more and more you practice, the better you are prepared. Try to practice not just your English. I will suggest you to do 2 English, 2 English comprehension, 3 reasoning, and maybe some 2 or 3 aptitude every day. So this itself will take off half an hour of your time. Try to do it so that you. अभी क्या कर सकते हैं कि अगर इंग्लिश भी मुश्किल आ गया तो एटलीस्ट देन यू हैव टू गो बैक टू योर एप्टीट्यूड, राइट? उसमें कॉमन सेंस यूज करना पड़ेगा. नो फार्मूलाज यू कैन यूज. ओके, दिस इज हम भी फार्मूलाज वो सब करते थे, पर कुछ फार्मूलाज अभी यूज नहीं होता. यू कैन नॉट रिमेंबर फार्मूलाज, नाइदर यू कैन यूज द फार्मूलाज टू सॉल्व सीसेट. So don't waste much time in remembering the formulas. In that pressure situation, you first of all will mess up the formula. Wrong formula डाके use पहले बात नहीं होगा. That wrong formula you will put, and there is no variables over there, and you will got off answer after 10 minutes. You're like, solve, got answer. Looking at the option, there is no answer. Then you are like, array, 10 minutes I spent. So use your logic. Okay, ABCD, this is there. My nearest answer is like this. If 100, 105 your answer is, nearest answer in my optional is what? In my options is what? 1005 is there. 105 same no. But 2 zeros it's okay. Your mother will mark off. So don't do all those particular things, right? So visam mat karo. Don't do the formula wala thing. Use common sense. With common sense, all these years we have cleared the CSAT by common sense. We never memorized any formula. We never memorized, or we never did any practice from R.D. Sharma or S. Agarwal. Honestly, I'm telling, we never did it. Only for English में थोड़ा because ego hurt हो गया था ना fourth attempt में, English में कैसे निकल गया. So थोड़ा इसीलिए हमने ये सब work किया. Otherwise we never do your CSAT, right? Use common sense. That is more important. That's why your companies, MNCs, or if you go outside any particular, your gate, everywhere aptitude is used, IQ is used. You understand IQ, right? Aptitude and IQ, intelligent quotient. That is basically how your brain is made. And brain formulas से नहीं आता. It is basically how your brain functions quickly. And for that, common sense and logic works. No formulas. ये याद रखना हमेशा. So next one, if you do not understand any word, obviously Google it, note it down in a separate. This is for those people who are very, very poor in English. So you have to maintain, ये editorial में जो भी important words आते हैं, you have to remember them. So whatever from now on, you will be solving your comprehension. They're all PYQs, UPSC PYQs. Are you understanding? So you are not going away from anywhere. ये सब random articles नहीं है, ये सब UPSC के PYQs है. In the last 12 years, whatever data we have, I've compiled it. So yes, learning one word a day keeps fear of English away. It's my quote, right? So types of passages. So 3 types of passages are there. One is the descriptive passage. You should remember this. मतलब ये नहीं है कि you have to write the notes, all those. एक बार समझ जाओ. Once you understand it, I am hoping that you will not forget. If you are confident about yourself that you will forget, then you note down. Okay, otherwise it's not required. So descriptive passages, analytical passages, and hypothetical passages. So first one is your descriptive passages. So these are the long passages with very less significance. A lot, big comprehension will be there. So if you encounter any long passage, most of the time, all the data which is asked in the question will be among your passage only. So I will show you how to read a comprehension, how to mark, which are the keywords and all when we start doing it. But remember, if at all any long thing is there, usually the common tendency of aspirants is, if at all anything is long, is there, time will get wasted in reading all this, so why to, they will not touch upon. But the longest passages are always the easiest. And this is the rule which, UPSC in mains also they do. Whichever question is big, that is the easier question actually. Whichever is 1 line, 3 words, 4 words, uska 100 meaning nikal sakta, 100 meanings can come out of it. So whenever it's a very small passage, or for that matter even in your main small question, you have to become careful, because that's like a trap. That's a trap. You people not knowing this, small question or small comprehension, no, this is only the thing, you will go and off. But remember, as soon as you see big essay, attempt it first, because it's a completely data driven. That is, all the data of that particular passage will be within your passage. So for solving this, it is suggested that you should note down important points, or you basically can underline them. I'll show you how to do that. The questions will be direct, so you need not be banging your head. Descriptive passages. Remember that keyword, descriptive. So when you do your comprehension, you have to identify whether you're descriptive hai, analytical hai, hypothetical hai. First you identify. Once you identify, obviously in the exam your brain will automatically work. Then are your analytical passages. They are tricky passages. So if you aren't an avid reader, they will bore you. That means if you don't read your English novels, English storybooks, you don't read your editorials regularly and all, passages will be there. मतलब पता नहीं क्या बोल रहा है, कुछ भी बोल रहा है. You will think, and since you will get bored, you will not be able to connect it from your passage, right? So these are little technical questions. Basically, they will be technical, and sometimes it is going to bore you a lot. So these are tricky ones. These type of passages are mainly an analysis of some theory, scientific, political, philosophical, ethical. Some theory they'll explaining. If I start telling you some, let us say your Aristotle का theory, क्या बोल रहा है आदमी यार? Why should we read? You will get all those particular questions. Now you get no. Whenever you read polity, correct, Madhav? Yeah. So same way you will get it here also. So read them carefully. These are the perplexing ones, but they won't ask you as much of our inference-based question. So just go through the key points, frame main idea, and you will sail through. You will sail through, right? So then comes the, तुम्हारा क्या बोलते हैं, the one which will murder you is your hypothetical passages. They kill, they are the difficult ones. If you encounter any passage which is very short, there is a high probability or possibility of a philosophical or fantasy based passage. You may not be able to decode the main idea, so I would suggest you do not get biased or form opinions. Just believe what the author is saying, even if it is a drop dead bizarre. So sometimes what happens is a particular comprehension will be there, and they will be telling some theory. So in the question, they will ask you the answer for it. According to you, don't answer. What do you, according to your knowledge, don't answer. What is asked in the comprehension, only that much you should be able to answer. If at all they tell sky is black in the comprehension, and in the question it is asked sky is black, yes, sky is black only. You don't tell what are you telling, sky is blue. You don't use your brain. ठीक है, जो वहाँ पे है comprehension, that is only the correct answer. Usually people UPSC aspirants 24 subjects पढ़ा है, सब कुछ पढ़ा है, क्या बोल रहा है ये आदमी, इसको कुछ नहीं पता, and then you will get your marks. So don't do all those particular things. What is asked in your passages, you strictly do. So some of the key words or the directive words, this you have to note down. Obviously, everything means the same, but everything goes different. So first one is your inference. You can write down the definition. First one, inference. It basically is asking for conclusion based on logic and reasoning. So the opinion formed by known facts or evidence. Opinion formed by known facts or evidence should be taken. So when questions of inference is asked, how much trees are you going to save, Rashmita? यहाँ पे बहुत लिखना है अब. You have to write 3 pages. 3 lines if you write, वो नहीं होने वाला. So in the questions where inference is asked, based on the information given in the passage and within the premises of the passage, compulsorily underline that, within the premises. Within the premises, you have to draw a conclusion. Which may be true, which may not be true outside the passage. Once you choose any option out of the 4, try to read the passage again. Obviously, quick reading. Don't again one by word you start reading. Quick reading, very quick reading. Whether whatever answers you have chosen is making sense or not. Then second word, assumptions. A fact or statement that can be taken for granted. That can be taken for granted. So in questions where assumptions are asked, please be quick in writing so that we solve the questions more. जल्दी जल्दी लिखो, 7th गियर पे डालो, क्या 2nd गियर पे लिख रहे हो यार? Based on the information given and within the premises of the passage, compulsory, don't go outside the passage. Now only I'm again and again I'm telling, whatever written in comprehension is only correct, not your brain. For those 2 hours when you're doing your English, forget of your brain. पहले है नहीं, वो दूसरी बात है. Within the premises of the passage, you have to identify statements which can be assumed to be true. Here, sometimes, only here in assumption keyword, one can go beyond the passage also. One can go beyond the passage also. If at all that wire and all is there. Never. Next one, crux, C-R-U-X, crux. An essential point requiring resolution underline that, requiring resolution or resolving an outcome as the main or central feature of the passage. As the main or central feature of the passage. So in questions where crux is asked, you have to identify statement that correctly summarizes, underline that, summarizes, correctly summarizes key idea or key issue of the passage. All of you are having pencil? नहीं है क्या ऐसा मतलब? Because in your comprehensions I want you to use a pencil, because again you have to, when I do it, answer will change, so then you have to again mark it. Pen and all too much ये हो जाता है. So it's better you have a pencil. If not, maybe from tomorrow you get it, right? So next one, message. 4th one, message. Underlying theme or idea. Underlying theme or idea or lesson. Underlying theme or idea or lesson of the lesson learned from the passage. Look at the core argument or theme. This one keyword is, sometimes messes up people, because कुछ और पूछते हैं. This is a little confusing whenever messages comes. Core argument or theme that is being communicated. Also, try to grasp the tone of the passage, whether it's a positive tone or a negative tone, whether the author is supporting the theme or is he not supporting the theme. You should to grasp that particular thing. So next one, implication or implies. To involve or indicate by inference association or necessary consequence, necessary consequence, rather than by direct statement, rather than by direct statement. Identify the key connections between argument of the passage, key connection you underline, key connections of the passage and options given. So broadly, 5 directive words are there. 90% of the time only these words will be there, but 10% of the time some other word will be there. So I'll just give you one, 3, 4 words meaning of different words. So you can make other words quickly. So you can write the first one. Critical. Critical message they can ask sometimes. Expressing disapproving comments or judgments. Corollary, C-O-R-O, corollary, C-O-R-O-L-L-A-R-Y, corollary. Something that results from something else. Seems to imply, seems to imply, suggest existence of something which is not stated clearly. Essential message, the most important message among all the other opinions. So as and when, if at all we find some other word, I'll tell you the meaning. So just let's quickly start. I think what's the time? कब start किया था हमने? 1 घंटा हो गया. चलो. So you can open your. So sometimes what happens is there are jumbled passages. ठीक है? जो PPT और उसका jumbled हो सकता है. So if at all that is not matching, you just let me know. ठीक है? मुझे let me मतलब तुम ढूंढो कहाँ पर है passage. मैं अपने फॉर्म में जाऊँगा. So first passage, first 2, 3 I will do, then maybe you can do by yourself, okay? So we'll do it together, first 3. So see how am I underlining what I am encircling. Encircling are like whenever I'll come back to the passage, I'm going to see only those encircled ones. That is my key arguments. Underlined ones, that is for my reference for a second reading or something. So in India, over the last decade or so, labor has been departing agriculture, but is only going to construction and unregistered manufacturing, which are not markedly better jobs. Services, where labor tends to be the most productive, are not generating additional jobs the country needs. India will need 24 million or so jobs over the next decade. The new sector, e-commerce, can at best this is a very important word, at best, close only half the jobs gap. Only those sectors that drive domestic demand, such as health, education, can comfortably fill the other half. So all those underlined, encircled, squared are my important areas which I have to look back again. So which of the following is best implied in the passage? Strong measures need to be taken to reduce rural to urban migration of labor. First point. the working condition in construction and unregistered manufacturing needs to be improved. Service sector has been reducing the problem of unemployment. Increased social sector spending is imperative for large scale job creation. So which is the first? See, it's in English comprehension as well as in aptitude reasoning, what we do is we do reverse. Rather than pakka doing something, what we'll do is start eliminating. Whichever fits the most, that is the answer. Okay. So which is the most obvious wrong answer or wrong opinion, wrong option here? So if you see this, service sector has been reducing problem of unemployment. Where is service sector? So service sector, where is service sector? So yeah, services where labor tends to be the most productive are not generating additional jobs the country needs, reducing problem of unemployment. Both are opposite statements. So C is eliminated, right? Then let us see which else is the wrong option. Strong measures need to be taken to reduce rural to urban migration of labor. Is there anywhere written about your migration? Labor is there, but anywhere migration? Just see the important underlined and encircled ones. Most productive, blah blah blah. It's nowhere mentioned, right? Migration is not a issue in this particular comprehension, so it's eliminated. Then there are two things. Working condition in construction and unregistered manufacturing needs to be improved. So where is manufacturing and unregistered? Construction, but it is only going to construction and unregistered, which are not markedly better jobs. And the last statement is social sector spending is imperative for large scale. So if you see the last one, such demands, only those sectors that drive domestic demand such as health and education can comfortably fill the other half. This is in a positive tone and that is in the negative tone, right? So what is implied here? Like, what is the main agenda of the passage? The agenda of the passage is about employment. Here only two sectors have been talked about. They're not talking about services, they're not talking about anything else. So the major agenda when you read the comprehension is that services sector is something which will fulfill the demand of the labor. So the answer is D. Are you understanding how to eliminate and get the answer? So answer is D. Whatever answer I'm going to tell, obviously is all based on your official UPSC answer key. This is the official UPSC answer key for all the answers which you're going to check. Are you understanding how to do? So similarly, obviously यार तुम भी अपना mark कर लो जो भी मैंने mark किया है, so that you don't forget. I'll give you 30 seconds. अरे pencil and all you don't have, huh? Serious, I'll give you. Right. One second, heaven came and went. Blue is not looking good, no? I'll use some other color. Green I'll use. From farther, it's not even properly visible. What always pink you tell? Done? She operates everything, oh, even the AC she has to operate. Huh? अरे switch off हो गया, operate कर लो. It's switched on. Done? So next one. So one of the biggest ironies around water is a major theme, is that it comes from rivers and other wetlands. Yet it is seen as divorced from them. While water is used as a resource, public policy does not always grasp that it is a part of the natural ecosystem. Natural ecosystem. Efforts at engineering water systems are thus efforts at augmenting water supply rather than strengthening capacities of ecological system. What type of passage is this? Is it descriptive? Is it descriptive? Do you have any much idea here? Much data is given here? No, right? It's not a descriptive. Is it hypothetical? Does it explain any theory? No. What type of question is it? It is a analytical passage. What about the previous one? That was a data driven. That is a descriptive passage, right? So which of the following is the most logical and rational inference? Rivers and other wetlands should be protected under Ramsar Convention. You know Ramsar Convention, right? In environment, full happy she is. Ramsar Convention. Engineering water system should be modernized and further augmented. Further is the important word here. Then wetland needs to be reinforced as more than just open sources of water. Water supply should not be free of cost as to prevent its misuse or overuse, which is the most obvious wrong statement, which is nowhere mentioned in the passage. It's not an assumption based question, it's an inference, and Ramsar is nowhere mentioned. So A is eliminated. Then what else you will eliminate? The last one, right? Free of cost, prevent misuse. कहाँ पर लिखा है ये सब? Anywhere is it written in any of the passage? Now comes B and C. Engineering water system should be modernized and further augmented. So if you see this word, efforts at engineering water systems are thus efforts at augmenting water supply rather than strengthening the capacity of ecological system. It's in a negative tone, right? That is basically telling engineering system is not that effective, right? उससे ऊपर एक और है, wetlands need to be reinforced more than just open sources of water. So if you see the first statement, it comes from river and other wetlands, yet it is seen divorced from each other. Yet it is seen divorced. That basically telling that why are you not connecting water and its natural wetland, right? Then you see one more statement is there. Public policy do not grasp that it is a part of natural ecosystem. So there are two statements which are giving in the favor of C. So answer is C. Are you understanding? One we eliminated because of a negative, and to make this correct we have two statements in evidence of it. Are you understanding how to do it? समझ में आ रहा है? Yes. So from now on you do by yourself. You do it, then I will do, then we'll see opinion poll ABCD में कितने लोगों का आया. From now on what you have to do is count how many you got correct, how many you got wrong. So I will tell you one formula towards on Sunday based on the total number of how much you got correct, how much you got wrong. So कितने range में किसको क्या क्या करना पड़ेगा, right? So you have to have a count. You have to start doing from now yourself. First I'll give you every particular how many minutes you have to get in your exam. 2 minutes. So I'll give you 3 minutes. 1 minute ज़्यादा दे रहा हूँ, ठीक है? 3 minutes. In 1 minute I will solve. 1 minute का opinion poll will happen, right? So 5 minutes per comprehension. So do the next one by yourself. You will get pencil from where? Go. ये तो बहुत easy है. You cannot go wrong here in this. सर ये बोल के तुमने प्रेशर कर दिया. Otherwise we are doing. And Manoj? What? Everyone's pencil is outside, ah? Go. Who did this? You only, no? Come. I'll be putting the timer, okay? Come. All the people who are listening online, so from tomorrow, if it's possible now also, at least get a printout if a printer is there in your home, or at least from tomorrow or Sunday's class, which will be a 6 hours class. So you better have a printout ready. Keep a printout ready for yourself, and you have to do simultaneously with the class. Only then you're going to learn. So I hope that's clear with online students also. Why it is printed like this? Why this space? Done? हो गया, 3 मिनट हो गया. Done? हम्म, करो करो जल्दी करो. First of all, what type of a comprehension is this? Hmm? Is a descriptive or analytical? Sure. Hmm? It's both descriptive and analytical. Okay, enough data is also there, but getting inference, you have to get the assumptions here. So let's start it. People will invest in education whenever they are granted economic freedom to fully enjoy benefits. Again, this is for the obvious reason that the return on education increases as the level of economic freedom rises. When people, thanks to the lower tax rates, are allowed to retain of the higher income they gain from incremental level of education, it makes sense to invest in education. On the other hand, when the government decides to tax the higher income of educated individuals at even higher rate, it makes very little sense to invest in educating oneself further. The same incentives apply to parents who decide on whether to invest in their children's education. With reference to the above passage, following assumptions have been made. So you can go outside the passage also, right? So lower tax rates in a country invariably translates into greater investments in higher education. Basically it's telling if there is a lower rate, there is a guaranteed, investment in the higher education by the people. Investment in the education of children ensures economic freedom. Economic freedom has a positive impact on building up of human capital. So, which of the following assumptions are valid? One only, two only, three only, one, two, three. How many of you have got option A? Obviously, you have to participate. It's for your betterment. Option A. How many of you tell is correct, or you marked as option A? None of you. One. And obviously, you have to participate. I will have a counter. 2, 4, 8, 10, 14 of them are there. So I will count. जब सबको मिला के 14 आना चाहिए. Only you. So one person is telling this. How many of you say 2 only is the answer? Raise your hand. बोलो बोलो जल्दी बोलो. None of you? 3 only? How many of you say? 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. Only you are remaining. 12 of them have voted. 1 voted. Where are you voting? Tell fast. जल्दी बोलो. 1, 2 only, 3 only, 1, 2, 3. Never go with the crowd. If at all it's there, you take. Okay, so what is that obvious statement which can be eliminated, or is there any obvious statement which is correct? Let us see. So lower tax rates in a country invariably translates into greater investment in higher education. He is telling that if at all you put lower tax rate, pakka people will start investing in higher education. Is there any statement which tells people will invest in education whenever they are granted economic freedom to fully enjoy benefits? Again, this is for the obvious reason that the return on education increases, the level of economic freedom rises. When people, thanks to the lower tax rates, are allowed to retain on higher income that they gain from incremental level of education, it makes sense to invest in other education. On the other hand, when the government decides the higher income of educated individuals at even higher rates, it makes very little sense to invest in educating oneself. That means if government is increasing the high, making the tax rates high, what is the need? So first statement is if you have lower rate, people will invest in education, will become economic freedom, so you'll get money. But if at all government increases the high rate already, then there is no point out of 100 rupees, let us say the tax rate was 10, remaining 90 you will invest in education, right? Now if the tax rate is only 50 directly, then what is the point of you in education? So is there any guarantee that will increase in higher education? Is there any guarantee? Is there any guarantee? According to the statement, it's an extreme statement, right? Yes or no? Discount. So B and C is remaining. So either second is correct or third is correct. So investment in education of children ensures economic freedom. Economic freedom has a positive impact on building up human capital. Which is the extreme statement here out of the two? B is extreme statement, right? Ensures, that means pakka. Is there any statement which shows that it's going to ensure the economic freedom? Is there any statement showing it? But if you see the third one, economic freedom has a positive impact on building education. That means if you get money, you will obviously will make sure that you invest in education, because you will feel that after getting more educated, you can earn more. So it creates a human capital. Human capital basically means that, right? So answer is 3 only is the answer. समझ में आ रहा है कैसे करना है? How to identify extreme statements. The first 5 questions ऐसे ही होने वाला है. उसके बाद you have to start वहाँ पे where are you going wrong? I'll give you time 5 minutes break to introspect about yourself. First 5 questions will be like that. Don't worry. ठीक है? So next one you do. That's why you use a pencil. How can I see the chats? Can I see the chats? At least if they are participating, I should know, na? Yeah, people have told option C. At what time they have told, that is also important. 4-2. So this only most probably. So yeah, one of them have got it correct. Yeah, you people can actually put your answers, whoever is listening online. Yeah, I had got 23 comprehensions. Abhi bas 1.5 hours is remaining. We're still on third. Done? Done, everyone? Done? Everyone? So, private investment in general is volatile. Foreign private investment is more volatile because the available investment avenues are significantly greater, that is the entire world. Therefore, the responsibility of providing employment cannot be left to FDI. The current FDI inflows are volatile over time and across sectors and regions, which is a necessary consequence of their search for the highest returns. The adverse consequences are unstable employment and an accentuation of income and regional inequality. A probable positive consequence of foreign investment is the inflow of new technology and its subsequent diffusion. However, the technology diffusion is not at all certain because existing state of physical and human capital may prove inadequate for the diffusion. So what type of comprehension is this? It's a descriptive comprehension, okay, not much to think about it, no logics and all, direct question it is. With reference to the above, what are the assumptions which can be made? Relying on foreign investment in the long run is not an economically sound policy. Policies must be undertaken to reduce volatility in foreign private investment. Policies must be undertaken to strengthen domestic private investment. Public investment should be given priority over private investment. Substantial public investment in education and health should be undertaken. So, how many of you got A as the answer? Raise your hand. B as the answer. C as the answer. B or C? C. This क्या होता है? 4 of you. D last has the answer. One, two, three, four, five. What? ಯಾವುದು? Huh? You tell. What? I'll put for a lower one. Then what? To just match it. So, what is a very obvious statement which is wrong, which is nowhere connected anywhere, no information is coming? Hmm? Where? Which? Fifth. Substantial public investment in education and health should be undertaken. Anywhere education and health is mentioned? Any information which is backing it? No, right? So 5 is eliminated. So if 5 is eliminated, either 1 to 4 or 3. So now, which is one more obvious thing? It's a very simple one. See the fourth one. Public investment should be given priority over private investment. Where it is written? It's nowhere written, right? So fourth one, if you eliminate, the other three you don't even have to check because it's a very wrong. It's a very simple, it's just elimination thing. So answer is 3 only. So who are the 5 people who got it? Okay. So next one you do. समझ में आ रहा है कैसे करना है? अर्थमाइंदा गट्टीगा चपंडी. Next one you do. Ships, Spanish ships. ये 2022 में आया था. ये स्पेनिश शिप तो डूबा था, मेरे को भी डूबा था इसने. That was one of the comprehensions. I remember this. Hmm. Where it is given? Hmm. Which statement tells so? Where? Tell the number, line number. The technology diffusion is not at all certain because existing state of physical and human capital may prove inadequate for the diffusion. It's a negative statement. It's a negative statement, right? So even if you do it, it's not going to make any change. That is what it means, sir. Done? What? What answer? Done? Spanish ships in the late 16th century first brought the potato tuber from South America to Europe, whereby in the early 19th century it had become a reliable backup to cereal crops, particularly in the cold, rain-soaked soils of Ireland. The Irish were soon almost wholly dependent on the potato as their staple food, and they were planting primarily one prodigious variety, that is the lumper potato, whose genetic fertility would be cruelly exposed by the fungus Phytophthora intestans. In 1845, the spores of the deadly fungus began spreading across the country, destroying nearly all the lumpers in its path. The resulting famine killed or displaced millions. What is the critical message of the passage? For introducing any foreign plant into a country, the soil and climate conditions should be suitable. As a staple food of a country, tuber crops like potato cannot replace cereal crops. Some or the fungal infections or plants cannot be prevented or stopped from spreading across large areas. Relying on a homogeneous food source is not desirable. How many of you say option A? Option A. Option B. Option C. 6 of you. Option D. Tell fast. Two of you have not answered. Who are the two people? I should get 14 the number. 2, 4, 8, 10, 14. 14 of them are there. Hardly what? Three of you have to answer. Who are the three who didn't raise their hand? In answer. What one answer? Hmm? You? Who are the one more person who is not answered? Tell. Randomly बोल रहे हो? चलो ठीक है ले लो सर. या सोच के बोल रहे हो? Okay. So, which is the most obvious wrong answer? Hmm? D or B? Which is the most obvious wrong answer? As a staple food of a country, tuber crops like potato can never replace cereal crops. It's a completely extreme statement, right? So you eliminate option B. Then see this also, C statement also, some or the fungal infections of plants cannot be prevented or stopped from spreading across large areas. So do you mean to say that no technology will stop it? It's extreme statement, right? So C is also eliminated. Now, for introducing any foreign plant into a country, soil and climatic conditions of the country should be suitable or homogeneous food source is not desirable. What do you think can be the more suitable answer? So the soil and climate conditions of the country should be suitable. Somewhere here, cold rain-soaked soils of Ireland, reliable backup to cereal crops, particularly in cold and rain-soaked. Only one line, but the entire message is one potato crop came, they became dependent on it. Later, when fungus came, spoiled everything, because of which everyone lost the food. That means homogeneous, single food crop. If you depend on it, then if at all it gets affected, entirely you will get eliminated. So, what is the basic message of that passage? You should not dependent on a single crop. Simple as that, right? Yes or no? Answer क्या है? Who answered that D? होने का फुल हैप्पी ना अरे आ गया मेरे को आ गया मुझे नेक्स्ट वन यू डू वेयर आर योर अदर फ्रेंड्स वी शुड सिट हियर व्हाई went off home permanently क्यों 5A 5C 5D who is this Badwad Gautam so he's answering the questions good you mention the question number just if you put A B C D it's difficult to Get the mention the question number and obviously the option. On Sunday, what time you people want the class to be? बताओ तुम. Hmm? No, what are the timings you people want? Tell. अरे यार morning का afternoon का evening का mask. Hmm? Morning and evening. What will you do in between? What will you do in between? Morning and evening. What will you do in afternoon? You have any other doubts in the last 1 month when you were studying with respect to exam? Then you can ask obviously till Sunday. उसके बाद we have only 1.5 2 hours in between. उसके बाद जाना है. Done? Done? So, shall we start? Shall we start? In India, authorities always look to store maximum amount of water in reservoirs during monsoon, which is then used for irrigation and generation of electricity during summer months. It is an internationally accepted practice that water level of a reservoir should be kept below a certain level before the onset of monsoon. This is so that when monsoon rain comes, there is space to store the excessive rainwater and also so that water can be released in a regulated manner. But the authorities store the maximum amount of water in reservoir even before the closure of the monsoons only to ensure greater electricity generation and irrigation. What are the assumptions that have been made? High risk involved in holding maximum water in reservoirs are due to over dependence on hydropower projects. Storage capacity of dams should not be fully used Before or during monsoon, role of dams in flood control is underestimated in India. Option number A. Option number A. Option number B. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Option C. Option D. Who is not answering? 11, 12. Two of them have to answer. Who didn't answer? Option C. Who else? One more person? 14 has to come number. Who is that one more person? A. What, sir? I want to separate investigation every time. Huh? What do you tell? Option? Who told option D? Someone told option D, no? So, assumptions, right? So, high risk involved in holding maximum water in reservoirs are due to over dependence on hydropower. It's very obvious that we are not making it because we want electricity only. So it's a very obvious statement. So one is paka correct. One is paka correct. Which two are eliminated? It's eliminated. So now 1 2 1 2 3. So 2 to will not even see because it's for sure a correct answer. What about the third statement? Role of dams in flood control is underestimated in India. After reading everything, it is coming to that inference that if at all why we are not putting the why we are putting the maximum amount of reservoirs. Why means because we need electricity, we need it for irrigation, but we are not even talking about the other use of dams, which is to control the floods, right? It's the assumptions. You can step beyond the passage also, and one of the use of dams is obviously your flood control. So it is definitely underestimated, right? So it's a correct statement. So answer is 1 2 and 3. What man full hitting? What is that person name? Chocolate hero? Huh? Chocolate boy. Last 6 questions, 4 are correct. That's why don't mark off and sit done sir. Check again. Take time, check again. Yen Manoj, all good? Hmm? See that statement, maximum amount of water is then used for generation of electricity during summer. It is internationally accepted, blah 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 blah. Can be released in a regulated matter. Authorities store even before the closure of monsoon only to ensure greater electricity generation and irrigation. So what is your concern? Why it is overwritten? Why you are not wrong? Next. Option number D. Yes. Good, Gotham. Are you understanding how to do? Are you understanding? Done? Everyone? So, it's a very easy question. Bank credit to the industrial sector has started shrinking. Its decline has been a serious concern as credit growth is essential to revive investment. The problem's origin lies in the incomplete reforms of the last 25 years and institutional change that should have followed 1991 reforms should have been setting up of a resolution corporation for banks. In the market economy with booms and busts, banks should be allowed to set up and to fail. Today, we cannot shut down banks because there is no proper system to shut them down. Weak loss making banks continue to need more capital. Most logical and rational inference, Indian banking system is not able to help country in its economic growth. Economic reforms that started in 1991 have not helped in improving economy to expected level. India lacks institutional mechanism to deal with the failure of banks. Encouraging foreign investment in our industrial sector is a good alternative in the sector's dependence on the banks for credit. Very easy question. I hope that most of you get this correct. Option number A. Option number A. Option number B. Option number C. Option number C. Raise your hand properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Option number D. Option number D. Raise your hand properly. Who are the two people who didn't answer? You didn't answer or yours is a D? There are still two people. Who are those two people? Who is one more person? How many for C? Raise your hand again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 8, 9. Hmm? B. Just because you others are doing, I will choose something because from that time the same thing is happening. Don't do like that. So very obvious question is everywhere it is mentioning about your institutional change, red corporation, no proper system. So very obviously what it is. C. Institutional mechanism. It's a very direct question, right? You know you cannot go wrong in this. So answer is C. It's a direct question. इतना क्या सोच रहे थे तुम ए बी सी डी ए बी सी डी नेक्स्ट वन यू डू यस सी इज द आंसर इट्स ओके ड्रिंक आई गो Done? Done? No. What? You look at my expression, then give the answer. What is the answer? Done? India has tremendous potential for solar energy. We all realize that we have to stop burning fossil fuels to meet our energy needs, but certain renewable resources are still going through their cost curves and learning curves to get the required amount of output. Indian government has strongly committed to its target of reducing emissions by 33% by 2030, and towards this it has initiated a strong push towards a gas based economy and also invested heavily in renewable energy. However, business houses are wary of investing too heavily in renewable energy at a time when technology is not yet ready. Logical and rational inference. India's commitment to reduce emissions by 33% is unlikely to be achieved. India should import gas rather than invest in renewable resources. Getting renewable to market too soon may be costly. India should put in more efforts in the exploration of natural gas. How many of you say option number A? Option A. You told A, no? You changed of or no? A or what? This person one. A or what? Tell first. Option number B. Option number C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Anyone see? Option number D. Who is that one more person who has not answered? पागल हो क्या तुम लोग? You should answer properly. What, every question one person will be there? Who is that one person who has not answered? Madhav, you, last person. So shall we eliminate B then? Should we eliminate B? Because none of you answered no. So it's very obvious, right? B is eliminated. There's nowhere mention about it. What about option number A? Unlikely to be achieved. Is there any mention about it? They're talking about the problems of a renewable energy, cost curves, learning curves, gas-based economy, all this. But is there anywhere mention that will not achieve? So A is also eliminated. Now it falls into C or D. Put in more efforts for exploration of natural gas. Is that the theme? No, right? What is the theme? Renewable resources to market soon may be costly. So business houses are wary of investing too much. Learning curves, cost curves. Then anywhere else it is mentioned? Invested heavily in renewable energy. Yeah. So basically, three statements are there for telling us answer C is the answer. Oh man, learned of now only. All of a sudden. Now I'll give you 5 minutes break. अभी कितना solve कर लिया? 8 questions solve कर लिया है. You take 5 minutes break, then come back. Another 1 hour you have. Till 6 is the class, right? 3 to 2:45 से था, but तुम्हें print वो सब लाने में 3 बज गए. So I have to go till 6. 23 is the agenda for today. 15 more. 15 तो नहीं होने वाला. 6 तो कर लो at least. Take 5 minutes break and come.